Welcome back to Gemstones Podcast. I'm your host. I have my two luxury hosts with me today. I got Shy and ZD with me. I'm LP. Shy, how you doing?
I am doing great on this lovely Saturday.
How you doing today, Zach?
Doing good, y'all doing good. Hope everybody doing well too.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. It's good to hear from you guys again, man. It's been a busy week for all of us. So I'm glad we're getting together to create some more great content. Um, our last segment that we posted, a lot of individuals gave great feedback to that. So we really appreciate you guys for tuning in and listening and subscribing to our Spotify Anchor podcast page, and also following us each individually and our Instagram page as well. And we really appreciate that. Thank you guys for the support. I want to dive into these topics. I mean, we got some great topics today. Um, I believe Shy's going to start us off with an amazing topic. So go ahead, Shy, break the ice.
My topic for today is pretty much these men ain't ish. And not that's my topic for today. Basically, men not knowing how to properly plan dates, men not knowing how to court women, men not knowing how to it's so many things they just don't know how to do. So many things. So in reference, I have been single for about a year. Um, I have not actually felt single, but this like for the last probably 9 months or so, I actually felt single, right? And for a little while, I really wasn't like interested in dating for like maybe a couple of months, but I kind of started to get back interested in dating, things like that. But it's like I don't know if it's Houston, Texas, where I live at, or what it is, but and a lot of people, a lot of these men in Houston, not even from Houston, they transplants. But I don't know what it is, but these men in Houston, they just not up to par with dating. Like so many things. I have met quite a few people that have either like the guy I talked about on the episode a while ago about him. He used to be like really big and now he's small, but he's still like insecure. Either it's that kind of situation, like an insecure guy, or it's a crazy guy, or it's the broke guy, or it's the womanizer guy, or even it's the DL guy. Because I have run into some DL guys in Houston. Or it's just always something. I'm at the point now where I want to date, but I don't want to date. Like it's back on the back burner for me. Because these men just not up to par with. I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm into traditionally dating, but I need a healthy balance of traditional dating and millennial dating. I need a mixture of both. I firmly believe that these men that I've been running into, I mean, in my opinion, they're not that interested because I feel like if a man was truly interested or if they truly, like, I feel, okay, let me not jump the gun, but I just feel like men nowadays, they have so many options. They have so many, well, they think they have options, but they have so many, like, it's like they don't really have to put the effort in anymore. Okay, we're gonna mention first guy I met. He works at a food truck. But his family owns a restaurant out here too. Like they own like a chain of restaurants or whatever. And they have a food truck. So I met him at the food truck. And he was cool or whatever, but he was a little younger. I'm 31. I think he's 27. And he was just a little younger, and it was so I was like, whatever, whatever. So he asked for my number. I gave him my number, and we started talking and stuff. But it's like literally every time I talk to him, it's like he was just like all over the place. Like I'm at the point where now I know there's a lot of red flags. So it's like you always in your car, you always yelling out the window, "What's up, bro?" So he ended up being like, "Oh, I don't know I forgot what he said, but basically he don't know how to properly plan a day. I don't know if he's too young. I don't know if he's just slow. I don't know what it is, but he's like, "Oh, what are you doing this day?" I mean, like, it's like he would ask me, "What am I doing?" let's go somewhere. You asking me to go somewhere and it's 3 p.m. but you want to go at 5 p.m. Like, it does not work like that. It does not work like that. And you have to actually be like, you have to be like, hey, it's 12 o'clock. What are you doing this evening? What are you doing after work? Like, properly plan. It could be something, quick, like, oh, hey, what you doing after work? Or it could be something that we plan in advance. So I didn't like that. Another guy I met, this guy is an older guy. And pretty much like through, that's why I'm very big on getting to know people, talking to them. So pretty much he be on some website. Basically he buying hookers. And I'm like, imagine this man is 42. He's not bad looking. It's like, why are you 42 and you gotta buy hookers? And you live in Houston, Texas. Well, he live on the outskirts, but still buying hookers. So I'm like, and then you telling me maybe it's the people I'm attracting. I don't know. Like, another thing I was gonna say is I feel like men don't value women anymore because we've made men the prize. Men just don't like. Like back in the day, I felt like men put women on a pedestal. Like, everybody wanted to be Jet Beauty of the Week because she was that girl. But nowadays, men don't put women on a pedestal no more. Nowadays, it seems like we just any old other woman to them. Like, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I want to be put on a pedestal. Like, I want to be a priority. Until I can be a priority, I'm just not going to date nobody. Like, until I can feel like I'm a priority, I'm just not gonna date nobody. I'm not doing the texting me at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, talk about what you doing. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the late night. I'm not doing the cheap shit. Let's end it here. Like, we don't need to keep on keeping in touch and conversating. And I'm typically not a block spinner. I don't typically do that. What is it? And what is up with the guys in this generation?
You said a lot. I think the one thing when it comes to dating, um, for our generation, for the millennial, specifically, is what's the purpose behind it. If you just have this mindset, and I'm just gonna speak from a man's perspective. I don't know for women. I'm just gonna speak from a man's perspective. Um, I mean, I think I've been an individual who has dated a woman before, and I knew I wasn't gonna spend my life with this individual. I was just having a good time. Um, and I think that needs to be voiced. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm just dating right now. I'm just, finding myself, when it comes to this space of adding a significant other to my life. Now, that doesn't mean that, I'm not gonna do my due diligence as far as like planning the date effectively. I do agree. I mean, you shouldn't go to a bar on the first date. I don't think you should go grab a drink. I think that's very and lacks intention. Um, because if I really want to get to know you in some aspects, I need to sit down and have a conversation with you. I always like to do a coffee shop date, or in the past, I've always done like a coffee shop date, like a park. Let's go for a walk at a nice park, or go to like a museum, look at art, because that induces communication. Like, we can't just walk in silence this whole time. We have to actually talk. When you add a bar date into it, I mean, some people just want to run up a drink tab, and I'm not in the business of being somebody's trick. I hate to say it that way, and that's the term that I want to use, but I don't want to do that. I want to get to know you in the aspect of like what's your goals, what your intentions are in life. I believe we live in a very superficial world, in society, where you add someone to your life, but y'all might not have the same values or ethics or morals when it comes to life. I think you had a good point when you said you're not one of those girls who want to go to whatever steakhouse you said in the beginning, because there are women out there that's like that. They want to go to the fanciest restaurant and have a man spend 250, 275 on the first date. Why would I do that? I don't even know if you're really worth my time yet. And I think that's where the struggle is when it comes to dating in this generation on both sides. I mean, I think men are kind of burnt out on being used and abused by women, and women are kind of burnt out on being, not valued by men. So it's a twofold issue that's taking place because we have some women like yourself who actually want a good man to come along. I want a man to, provide them with that safe space, get flowers, be intentional. But it sounds like you've ran into a lot of men who've kind of been scorned by women. So now they kind of have their guard up. They don't want to be too vulnerable because they have been mistreated in the past by women before you. And that's unfortunate. And we have to do a better job as men is not looking at every woman as our past. And I can be an individual who can speak from experience from that. Every woman you encounter is not going to have the same agenda like the woman that before her had, and you have to go through that process of looking into yourself and figuring out why did you attract those women in the first place, and vice versa. So I think you kind of hit a lot of real heavy points when it comes to dating, because let's just be honest. In our generation, we are so influenced by social media. We're so influenced by society. You know, dating was easier back in the day with our parents or our grandparents because they didn't have Instagram, they didn't have Facebook, they didn't have what's it called X. They didn't have none of these type of influential avenues that influenced their way of dating. So it wasn't women looking at another woman, seeing what some man is doing for her, envying that and wanting that same treatment. It was just everybody moving at their own pace and their own drum. Um, we got to kind of get back to that and not being so influenced by society. Because what one man do for a woman may work for that particular woman, but it might not work for the next. And you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I mean, I met an individual a couple months back, and she was saying that um, she had met a guy who would give her flowers, like every other week. But I was like, ah man, that's lit. Like that's really nice. She was like, nah, he was doing it because he was cheating with so many different women. So he was just trying to appease me by giving me this gesture. So you don't know what I mean. So a woman's posting that, what that mean? You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Or it could just be that, he consistent, he loved this woman and wanted to be happy. We don't really know what's going on. I mean, it's all about the illusion of what's happening. That I forget. Yeah, the illusion. I think that's the word. The illusion, because we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. But we just have to, get into that space of that. So that's what I think, though, Shy. Zach, I mean, you can hit the nail and hit it out the park, man. But I don't. I mean, I ain't dating no more. So I don't know.
Hold on, let me add to it before you hop in, Z. I'm gonna add this to the last guy I did mention, that I did really like. He actually asked me, "How do I heal?" Because I remember him telling me about a past situation where he was dating an older woman and she pretty much ran him through the mud or whatever, and he's still holding on to that. And he asked me, "How can I heal?" And I sent him some articles on how to heal. But yeah, you're right. A lot of these men are holding on to past things and they're blocking their own blessings. But go ahead, Zach. Go on mute.
I do want to ask you what was millennial dating though, because you mentioned that up earlier, Sha, when I get through with this. But dating is so hard, I feel like for us men now is because shit ain't cheap like it was when you was in high school and junior high trying to take a girl to date. You can't just take a girl to the movies no more. Y'all say y'all like that, oh, let's go to the park and all that stuff, but it's been proven by the friends that we know and the females that we see, I guess you can say on social media, that taking the women to these places is frowned upon. Now, you might be one of those few where it's not, but until I get to know you, I don't know that. So to pick my date for you makes it a little bit harder because I'm trying to please you. And that's the difference sometimes now. As a man, you have these women these days put that persona out of the sexy reds and the city girls getting all the money, and now you got to be a trick just to get around them. It gets a lot harder to pick dates. It gets a lot harder to do dates. And one thing you was talking about the spontaneous thing. There's nothing wrong with dude being spontaneous. I'm spontaneous as hell. I might not plan nothing out that day, but we about to go do something. Like, hey, I miss you. I see you. Want to see you. Get ready. About to go see something. What you doing this time of day, or what you doing here? Planning the dates, it's a lot. Maybe planning the dates is a little easier when you're really attracted to that person or you really want to be with that person. Like Lance said earlier, you do have to have the conversation of what you're looking for and how you're wanting to move in the relationship. Have the conversation if you're just looking for friends with benefits, or if you're looking to actually get to know somebody and grow, and how you like to want to do that. Because I think our perspectives on how we want to actually date and have a relationship with people is really different from a lot of people from person to person. Like me, I'm on a person now. I want to take it slow. I'm not going to rush into it. I might talk to you and date you for a whole little minute before I actually try to make you my woman or something like that. Cause I got to get to know who you actually is before I make that commitment to you. And I feel like it's hard on both sides, like you said too, women and men, because we all trying to figure out what we're trying to do with each other, and it's not enough probably communication, and there's probably not enough men that are healed and not enough women that are healed because they keep going to the same type of people, or they keep attracting the same type of people, just like the men keep attracting the same type of people and wondering why I keep getting these people always after me, always trying to feel like manipulate me. And you get that type of manipulation or that type of mindset because you keep attracting these people. You need to try to step out and figure out how you can do something differently in your relationship to maybe not attract these people no more.
That's spot on, Zach, and that's I totally agree. The healing process is key, and Shad, that's interesting that you said that guy that gentleman asked you how do you heal, and that you sent him an article or whatnot. I think the best way of healing is you have to have that time alone. You have to get by yourself. You have to, have go on that self healing journey. Reading books, journaling, praying, spending time with family. Just putting yourself in a position where you can reflect, because healing is all about reflection. It's not all about what someone done to me. It's about the reflection of what happened and how did you handle it and why did it happen. What part did you play in it? Because if someone hurt you, you had to play a part. You had to be blind to some signs, or you want to be ignore some things, but you have to be honest with yourself, and that's the hardest thing, is the honesty with yourself. So that's interesting. I believe we just probably dealing with a generation of broken people, and you know that essence of brokenness is transcending into the dating world, and it sucks. I mean, it really does suck. I mean, you have some women who just can't leave a bar alone. They have to drink every day, be at a bar. Why? You don't have to do that to yourself. And you don't got to try to drain the man's pockets to think that man wants you. But money cannot buy you love. And we have to, as a group, this try to like redefine what happiness is and redefine what love truly is, because it ain't in your pockets, it ain't in your wallets. So I think that's important. Anything else y'all want to add on this topic?
I got one real quick one. A man that give you 10K when he got 100,000 is not the same as a man that give you his last when he only had $20.
Facts. Now let me add this too before we go to our next topic. I heard what you said, Zach, about the women not wanting to go on certain dates and things like that. Let me just say this, and this is coming, and I don't speak for every woman, but this coming from a woman that has been flued out, that has been taken on vacations, that has been taken to the nicest restaurants, that has been taken care of everything. I've had just about everything done for me except somebody proposed to me and buy me a house. And well, I've had everything materialistically done to me. I will say this out loud. To me, I don't think I've ever been loved properly, but I've had people that have tried to buy me. So I don't speak for all women, but I'm gonna say this: the women that say social media is fake, the women that say they do not go on this type of date and they ain't going to Cheesecake Factory, they ain't doing this, and they ain't going to the park. Those are women who don't go on dates. Period. Because if you used to a certain thing, if you're used to being treated nicely by a man, you're used to being taken out, you're not gonna them women that sit on social media and say, I ain't going to the Cheesecake Factory, I ain't going to Chili's. Them women do not go on dates on a regular basis. Them women do not go out, or they don't, or they haven't had the experience of really just going out. especially when you start going to all these nice restaurants and doing all this stuff, you start to realize half of the nice restaurants don't even be good. So it's like if you with this man, you like him and you're not willing to go to Chili's or somewhere with him just cause y'all might be out and about that day going play mini golf and y'all see a Chili's next door. The women that say they ain't doing that, they're liars. They're liars and they most time they sit at home, and if they are going places, it ain't with a man that they with. It's a man that's somebody grandpa that's paying their car note, and they trick he a trick. That's about it. They're not out with a man that they actually like are in love with or they care about. So that's fake. All them posts and social media, that shit is fake. And them same women who say that, typically from what I've seen with my own eyes and people I know personally, they normally end up being in their early 30s, but end up with a 50-year-old man because he about the only one that's gonna put up with that crap because he old and he looking for somebody that's gonna help him out in the next 10 years when his ass get older. He, like a lot of these older men are looking for women that can, help take care of them when they get older. So no, them women are they lying. They don't go on dates like that. Because if you really was outside like that, I mean outside as in experience in life, you wouldn't even be talking like that. So
Well, that's spot on, man. I guess we're in the topic saying this. Dating if in this generation is hard. Be careful who you date. Just try to take it slow. Men, heal yourself. Women, quit trying to get in somebody's pocket. All right, now let's go to our next segment. We got fan mail again. This was kind of interesting. It kind of is synonymous with your topic, Shy. I'm gonna read it to you guys. It says, "Hey LP, I love your content and how you have created a safe space for millennials. It's so hard dating right now for women in this generation. A man can't simply plan a date. He doesn't want to work, and he wants a woman to cater to him. All you have to do is simply pick a nice place, pick me up, and say, baby, let's be there. What is the issue with men in this generation? I really like you guys' perspectives because you guys provide great content. Please help a sister out because I am so lost." Well, this way I'm gonna try to answer this question first. First, thank you for liking the podcast, man. That's first off. You know what I'm saying? We do our best, to create some good content, and this is a safe space for millennials. We all are millennials, so we appreciate that. And I think that she hit something. I don't want to talk about the dating, but she said men really don't want to work and they want women to cater to them. Those are the 2 points I kind of want to focus on for me. I would kind of agree when it comes to men really don't want to work. A lot of men I encounter don't want to go to work every day. They want to have everything kind of given to them. They don't want to, bust their ass to get it out the mud, so to speak. They don't have that hard work ethic. Now, that's pretty sad because as a man, and this is biblical, it said men don't work, they don't eat. You have to work and provide. That is your essence of your role as a man, to be a provider. And I think we do have a lot of tender men and men who just kind of want women to give it to them. I mean, I know so many women that go have a full-time job and they go home to a man that don't have no job and she give him the check. It's like the roles were reversed. Where they do that at? I ain't never not paid all the bills in the house with any woman I've been with. And I've been on my own for a long time where I've had to pay all my bills, take care of a kid I raised by myself, and the other kids that I contribute to their household as well. That's important. But I value that as a man, being able to provide. I saw my father and how he provided and how we never really wanted for anything because he worked long hours and would be away from home a lot of times to provide for us. So I kind of adopted that same hard work ethic in in anything that I do, whether it be in sports, whether it be in my career, whether it be in education. I've always just been a person who wants to work hard. Now, when they say women want to cater, men want women to cater to them. Now, I kind of get that a little bit. I ain't gonna say cater, but because you shouldn't be catering to no man that don't want to work. Now I'm gonna say that. Now if you out here and this fool don't got a 9 to 5, he ain't got no type of sustainable finances coming in, and you over here coming home from work, cooking dinner, asking him what he want to do. I hate to say this, boo boo, you a fool, and I ain't trying to be rude to you, but it's something within you that you need to have healed, because you don't need to be catering to no man that don't make a safe space for you to grow. My job as a man is to water you. You the seed. I need to water you so you can grow. And as I water you, you fill me up so I can continue to water you. So I'm gonna tell you this: it is hard dating. It's hard for men and women. You need to get into a space for yourself to figure out what do you want in a man. And then once you figure out what you want, start carrying yourself like that's what you want. And then these you won't be attracting these fools who don't want to work. You start attracting somebody who want to have a job, who got a job, who want to start a business, who ain't working check to check. Now I don't know your situation if you go out every night, if you in the streets like that. But I tell you one thing: a man don't want no woman that's available to everybody. If a man, if all these men have access to you, why do I want you? You're gonna continue to attract what you've been attracting. All right, that's my sense. I'm gonna let y'all.
Let me add to that. Okay, so one thing you said, Lance, you said that you always been a provider. But that's one thing I think that you missing, that these men nowadays are not providers. They don't provide. Like a lot of times, and I think it to me is whatever work for you in your household. But a lot of times these men are not providers. They're a lot of times it's 50-50. Some guys don't make enough money to provide for a household, kids, a wife, and all that stuff. So they have to, go 50-50, or things like that. But it just depends on, again, like what works for your household. Like, but these men is not providers like that. Like, it's really, honestly, it's hard to find a man that is a provider that can take care of a household. Like, that's honestly hard to find. Like, and if you do find it, sometimes he might come with a lot of baggage. Like, because from my own experience, he might come with a lot of baggage. So it's like either you willing to put up with the baggage to have a provider, or you willing to go with Mr. 50-50. And me personally, I want to go with Mr. 40-60. That's who I want. Mr. 40-60, that's faithful, that checks all the boxes. But he might not make enough to pay all the bills all year round, but he make enough to get the place. And I want Mr. 40-60. That's what I want. I know 50-50, but 40-60.
Zach, let me say something before you go. You know what, Shot? You right though about being a provider. I get that it is different for everybody's situation, but that's where it comes in where you got to continue to better yourself. That's why I said, my job as a man is to water you. You the seed, and you grow, and your job is to fill me up. As you fill me up, I'm going to expand. You got to look at this in the aspect of like gardening. If I plant something, I have to water it, then I have to fill it up. The bigger it gets, the larger the container of water I have to bring to it, because I can no longer bring a little pill to a small seed. Once it becomes a tree, I probably have to bring the water hose and just turn it on, because the amount of water it's going to need now is going to expand from what we started at. And men got to want to grow. We have to stop this concept of complacency. Oh, I'm fine here and I'm gonna stay there. No, you have to continue to grow. It's especially how society is and how the economy is and how things are going to continue to go up. I mean, there's nothing that has, like, the price of gas when we were younger used to be like a couple of cents or something like that, like 75 cents. It ain't never going back to that. When we were in high school, gas was like $1, and $1.05, $1.08. It ain't never going back to that. Things that continue are going to continue to take a trend upward. So therefore, you as a man have to continue to trend upward in your career and what you want to do and how you handle your finances. So that's where that watering the seed and filling me back up comes into place, because we have to both simultaneously do this together.
Okay, and let me add before what I had lost my train of thought on was you had mentioned, is you a bar girl, you're an outside girl, right? So here's the thing again, if you is, so all the outside girls that are listening, if you is an outside girl, you got to get a man that's in the same lifestyle that you in. If you a church girl, you got to get a man that lifestyle you in. So you a girl that go sit at 50-15 every night or the weekend or Savoy, wherever. You got to get you a man in that same lifestyle. Either if not, y'all gonna clash. So if you an outside girl, you stay outside. You need to go date you a promoter. You know, date you a DJ, a club owner, a guy that bartends, something like that. So that way, you sitting at the bar with him, you sucking down all the Hennessy you want. He working, and that's y'all bonding time because y'all do the same thing. So it's okay to be outside girl, outside guy. You just gotta get somebody that's equally yoked with you and your lifestyle. Like if you a strip club, if you a stripper, get you a man that's okay with that. You know, that's all I'm saying.
All right, it's my turn now. Like LP said, thank you for posting, messaging us. We like all these things y'all are giving to us. Keep DMing us. Keep writing us emails. Keep doing all that stuff. We like having these conversations with y'all every time. To what you said though, I agree with everything LP said about the man that don't work, don't eat. You know, if you finding a man that don't want to work, you need to figure out, like I said earlier in the shy segment, figure out what you messing with, what you doing, because something you were doing is attracting these type of men. So you just figure out how you carrying yourself so you can stop carrying these type of men to walk around you and approach you because they feel like you approachable when you shouldn't be approachable to what they're giving. Um, we already talked about how hard it's date. We all know it's hard. Third on here is ain't nothing wrong with a woman catering to men. I think we all agree with that. You supposed to cater your man. If you don't cater him, ain't nothing gonna grow. But you gotta cater the right man. And I think that's our biggest problem as female and man, is we cater to people that really ain't catering to us. It ain't a 100 to 0. It's a 50-50 when it comes to catering to your lover. You gotta be able to find that person that you can cater to and give that type of relationship to, and that's gonna give that relationship back to you. Because as you said, when I'm giving you all this provider and all these things of nature that you want, I'm gonna receive that, and everything's gonna be gravy in our family. Everything's gonna be good because we're gonna be up and up because we're doing everything that we need together, no matter if it's 50-50, 60-40, 100, 0, whatever it is. You know, if I'm taking care of you, whatever. As long as you providing those catering needs and those things that make me feel like I can keep going harder and harder for our family, you're gonna keep going every day. And it's not gonna get easier to date in our generation, in our future generations, because a lot of things have gotten out of what our parents used to do. Like if we really think about it, our parents were damn near almost arranged marriages at that point. The type of love and stuff they had was way different than ours love we got nowadays. We got love you can find anywhere. You can find somebody on social media, you can find someone on a dating app, you can find somebody in a club. That ain't gonna get easier. You just gonna have to have a filter to the bullshit that you want in your life. And you're gonna have to really look at your life, like you said earlier, LP, being alone, figuring out what makes you happy and what you want in your life to filter out the bullshit that's gonna come through trying to enter your life. Like they always said, you might find you a branch, you might find you a leaf, and you might find you a root out here. Everybody ain't meant to be in your life forever. They just meant to be there for a season for you. And that's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to learn which one is here for the long haul and which one's here just to teach you something about yourself or teach you something about what you want out of your partner in the future.
I agree, man. So I can't say your name, sweetie, but and you know what, Sha? You said something right that if you want to be outside, you got to find somebody outside. But the problem is, a lot of them a lot of women, I ain't gonna say them because that's so wrong to say. I'm sorry. A lot of women who like to have the attention of being outside, being at bars every day, being at every event that's happening, R&B parties, brunches, whatever it may be. They don't want the man that's outside like that. They want the man that's go to work every day, that may go out once every month, that's not very accessible, where a lot of women has access to him. But and that's the issue. They don't like that. They want someone who is very ducked off, low key, is not very accessible. And same thing with men. A man don't want a woman that's out like that all the time that men have a lot of access to, because a lot of people are disrespectful to relationships. You may say, "Hey, I'm in a relationship." A guy may say, "I don't care. You he in here with you right now. Let me buy you this drink. Let me get to know you." Blah 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 blah. And that's just how things are. So it's very interesting, and sweetie, I'm gonna tell you, fine. You talking about a man who don't want to work? I suggest you be single for a while. And you probably punching the air while we say this. When you do hear this, you're gonna be punching the earth because you. I mean, you. I don't know if you thought we was gonna give you this magical answer, but my suggestion to you is that you be single for a while and you just figure out what it is you want in life, and then once you figure that out, you will start attracting.
I was gonna say facts, and I know this was a topic for the guys, but yeah, it all goes back to being equally yoked. That's one thing I realized. Like it don't, you can say, y'all might have different. It's okay to have a different opinion on food or a different opinion on the gym or things like that. But when you got those kind of core values and y'all not equally yoked, or if like I said, like if you an outside girl and he ain't, or vice versa, or all these things that she mentioned, you have to be equally yoked with somebody. If you're not equally yoked with them, it's just not gonna work. Like I know, look, what the Bible say is the truth. Like regardless of what religion you is, being equally yoked with somebody is the key foundation of things being successful. But I'm done.
All right, man. So Z, go ahead and give us the next topic, man, because I know what you kind of discussed before we started, man, and I think it's gonna be a good one too.
All right, the topic we're about to get into now is parenthood. Now, I'm not a parent, so I'm not going to speak too much on it because I know how I feel like I want to raise my child. But since I don't have that child, I'm not going to put my 2 cents in too much because I don't have that in my life to really say what I will do and what I'm going to do because I don't have it. But my question to you, though, LP, since you are a father right now, is we as men are raised to never show emotion, to never show tears, to always be this hard core individual that never cries, that can just handle everything. But as adults and as grown men now, we I think I can speak for both of us right now. We both know that shit just ain't true. Like we have to have emotional intelligence. So my question to you is how do you raise your child to know early on about emotional intelligence? That hey, it's okay to cry in certain moments, but still keep him strong as a man in what core values a man should have.
Man, that's a that's a really good question. One thing that me and my son, no, so I have two sons. I have one that's 13 going on 14, and I have a 2-year-old going on 3. And my daughter will be 13. So with my oldest boy, obviously the 2-year-old, he just wild, just run around and play all day. With my oldest boy, I mean, we have a lot of discussions about um being boisterous, and not being closed off. You would notice a lot of kids in this generation are really in in their phones. They're really on the like game, like if you got kids, they like to play that game a lot, like Roblox, Fortnite, Call of Duty, um, things like that. And it's a lot of communication that comes through them via headsets. Like in person communication, they kind of struggle with. They struggle with social behaviors via in person because they have so much access at home, whether it be their telephone or be their game systems. So I have a lot of conversation with him about interpersonal skills, um, and how to regulate that in an effective way. And and with him, I don't necessarily say like if your feelings hurt, don't cry, hold it in, and be tough, something like that. I tell him, it's okay to to share how you feel, but with knowledge of the audience in front of you, because everybody's not your friend, and sometimes your emotions will be used against you. And also, you black, you have to understand that you are a black young man, and you taller than your daddy at the moment, so you're gonna be a big guy, and you still growing, and so the perception of how society is going to see you is not going to be how I see you. And everyone's not going to treat you like I treat you, or like your mother may treat you, or your grandmother, or your sister, or your brother, or your cousins, or anybody in your family that loves you. They're not going to have that same grace for you. They may use your emotions against you. So I never tell him to not share his emotions, but to also be mindful of where he's at when he does want to induce that emotional intelligence or display it, because that's very key. And I also, when it comes to like frustration, anger, teach them how to regulate that. You know what I'm saying? I got a home gym. I just cleaned it out this morning. Uh, we got a punching bag in there. Okay, this is where you need to go if you feel like you want to, induce some physical emotions. This is the best outlet. Now, I also tell them, don't let nobody push you over or stand up for yourself because you got a daddy who gonna ride behind you no matter what. And I deal with, if it comes to educational professionals or anything like that, let me handle that. But don't let nobody, bully you, treat you in a kind of way because they begin to think that's okay. It's tough though. It's tough raising black young men because you have to explain things to them in a way about the world that they're about to one day embark in and be grown and kind of prepare them for the challenges that you face every day as a black man. We have to prepare them for, the workplace, have to prepare them for police violence, have to prepare them for, compensation and differences, prepare them for leading a household. You have to prepare them for all them aspects. It's tough. So it's a lot of conversation to go in there, but a lot of modeling too. So some things you can talk, but you have to model it too as a father. So I have to be careful at times when I want to go smooth off on somebody and show him how I regulate my emotions and not do it in real time as far as cussing somebody out or telling somebody how I feel. But okay, I told you to go to the punch bag. Now I have to show you this is how you're supposed to regulate. I'm gonna go in here for about an hour and just go smooth in on this other last bag for about 45 to an hour. So that's the key. And I was blessed enough to have a grandfather and a father who told me about their failures and made sure that the failures that they had, even if I was on that path, I didn't stay on it too long. So I took that at the same way. And I think as fathers, man, the one thing that fathers have to realize, the things that you struggle with as a kid or as a man, your kids gonna struggle with too. So it's best that you be in their life so you can guide them and navigate them through that. Because some of the same struggles I had as a little boy, my kids, both my sons have had. But luckily enough, I'm in their life and I know how to navigate, how to assist them and their mothers at times, how to navigate them through that turbulence. And that's important. So that's kind of my answer in a nutshell. I know it's probably like a lot to debunk, but it's not a one word answer. I mean, it's a multitude of things. I mean, it's like a conceptualization, so to speak. If you put it into that context, like you have to put it in different sections and how you do that because your job is to for prepare them for the world, prepare them to be men, and you're not gonna always be their friend, and you just gotta just understand that they ain't gonna always be your. We ain't always gonna see the eye to eye, and that some days as a father you might want to throw hands with your kid because the fools be trying you. But you just have to, do your best and just educate them and guide them through the process and be honest with them about the things in which you struggle with. And you'll be surprised in how they respond to it. Because I think a lot of times these young men that are black, especially these ones that are preteens and teenagers, when they hear that you had the same struggles that they're going through, it gives them a different perspective. Like I'm not in this alone. My pops went through this. He can help me. So I can come to pops about this and pops about that. And it's important that you establish that boundary. Hey, I'm still your daddy. We ain't friends, but I also have that transparency.
No, that's a spot on answer. Like you said, there's so many segments you got to talk about in that situation. And the reason I asked, I had this conversation with friends recently and how they want to raise their sons because they're about to be two new fathers here soon. Well, one's a father now, one's about to be a father. And it was a conversation we was having about one of my friends, and they were saying that a kid got hurt in their neighborhood and they was all outside playing. And they was trying to give him a band-aid so we can take care of his injuries and all that stuff. And the little kid said, "No, you can't give me that Band-Aid. Band-Aids for pussies. My dad would get mad at me." And everybody was like, "Wait, what? Say that again? Did you just say a Band-Aid is a pussy? Like if you put a Band-Aid on, you're a pussy? Like your dad taught you that walking around with blood dripping on you and not taking care of your injuries is the pussy thing. Like he showed you that you're less a man if you take care of your injuries." And that's just like it's mind boggling to think that we push that on our kids of how what we feel like a man is. And it kind of shows you how much a man you really are sometimes, unfortunately.
But no, you're right though. That reflection is key. I mean, you will see being a parent. It gives you insight to how you truly see the world because the ethics and morals you instill in your kids is what they're gonna display. And I always say my kids is nothing like me, which is awesome. But I want them to be their own people. I think a lot of times when it comes to fathers or just parenting, period, I think a lot of parents try to live their life through their kids. You can't do that. You gotta let your kids live their life for their own. And your job is to guide them through the process. Now, I was very athletic. My oldest son, he ain't really into sports like that. I don't push athletics on him. I had him do a sport one time. I knew it wasn't gonna work. I said, you can do whatever else you want to do, G. You mean you not gotta be like me. Um,
All right, well, great points, guys. And we're gonna wrap up this episode here. This was some good topics. This was definitely lighthearted, but informative and sincere. So I definitely love this episode. And this is Sha Marie. You can follow me on all platforms. Sha Marie. That's CHY Marie __. Follow me there. What y'all got to say to anything?
keep on sending us that fan mail, please. It is so entertaining, and I love giving you guys some insight, man. It be spot on, and I know a couple of you guys since have sent some things. It hasn't made it to the podcast. Yes, it will make it. But you guys who just make sure it's within scope of what we're going to discuss. Or the topics that we discuss on this platform. Because some of the things you guys have been sending, that's not appropriate. Okay. So let's keep it content worthy. But I love it though. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Keep subscribing, keep listening, keep giving us awesome feedback, and we'll keep on doing what we're supposed to do, doing our best creating this content. I really appreciate you guys, and we love you guys.
Yeah. Remember, follow us on Gemstones Podcast on Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube, right, Shaw? And reach out to us at our Gemstones Podcast at gmail.com to continue to send us fan mail, continue to send us DMs or those social media handles. We love y'all. Y'all have a great day. Y'all keep striving and keep moving forward, man.